Happy 4th of July weekend. Sorry, we don't have fireworks, but we have a sermon. So hopefully that will suffice. And we're in the second week of our summer series, Audience Choice. All the questions and topics that you want to talk about this summer. And if you have another question or two, feel free to send that one in. We're pretty much filled up, but hey, I might like your question, and we might turn it into a sermon. So there are slips of paper on the back table that you can write your question in. You can place that into the black box, and we have about 10 weeks or so of all of your questions, kind of like poll the audience from Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. What are the burning topics on your heart that you want to see addressed here at Awaken on a Sunday morning? And today's topic is on wisdom. Someone said, let's talk about wisdom. And I said, what in particular? They said, wisdom in general. I said, do we have 6 months to do a series on wisdom? Now, quick disclaimer here. I did a series on wisdom 2 years ago, 2023, 7 sermons on the book of Proverbs. So this is sort of like a postscript to the sermon series from 2 years ago. So we have an encore that's been 2 years in the making, and I used some of the same material so that we're all on the same page, but then I went in a completely different direction. So if you heard all 7 of those sermons, and they are online if you want to go back and refresh yourself about wisdom in the book of Proverbs. And here's the thing that happens often to me. I give a sermon series, and then I'm on to the next series, so I forget about the series that I just did or one I did 2 or 3 months prior. But then I go back through my notes and I'm like, whoa, this is good stuff. And I found myself just spending a lot more time than I thought going through the notes on Proverbs and thinking, well, maybe we should do some more on Proverbs, because there was so much there. There's no, as we'll see here in a moment, there's no end to wisdom. And who couldn't use a little more wisdom in their life? I mean, right? Are we not all there? I mean, wisdom is this boundless, endless thing. And I think we're all on this search for more and more wisdom. Our prayer, most likely, is that God would offer more wisdom to each one of us every single day. And we're going to get into that idea actually in a moment. But first, we need a sermon title, because no sermon is complete without a good sermon title. So the title of today's sermon is The Proverbs Path to Wisdom in 7 verses, plus a few more thrown in along the way. Oh, man. You know, I had another title, and then I came up with this one, and I was like, ooh, this is that other one. It's garbage. But this title, this is where it's at. So if you're taking notes, make sure that you add what is in the parentheses right there. And the topic that I want to talk about, overall, the general idea is, well, what is wisdom? And so we'll get into what is wisdom as we move along in the sermon. First, let's begin with a couple of questions. And here's a general question for all of us. Why would I want wisdom? Maybe you're here this morning and you still need to be sold on wisdom. I don't know who you are. I don't know why you would think that. I saw most hands, most everyone was like, yeah, please give me more wisdom. But in case you're on the fence this morning or feel like your wisdom bucket is full, let's address this question. Why would I want wisdom? Or secondary question, what is it that wisdom promises? And today we'll predominantly be in the book of Proverbs. That is the classic wisdom text. But I would argue that the entire Bible is a collection of wisdom. So we see wisdom all the way from the beginning of Genesis all the way to the end of Revelation, because the truth is what God desires to offer, what God is inviting each one of us to in every single moment, is to live a life of wisdom, to live with this receptiveness, with our hands open to receiving more and more divine wisdom. So you can find it all throughout the Bible, but Proverbs, I think, is a great place to start. It's a great foundation. Proverbs 8. Blessed is the one who listens to me. What I love about Proverbs is wisdom is personified as a person. Wisdom is speaking. Imagine you're sitting there early morning, the sun is rising, you have your cup of coffee or matcha or whatever it is that you drink in the morning, and all of a sudden you hear this voice, or you're reading your Bible. Blessed, maybe it's unaudible, I don't know. Blessed is the one who listens to me. Blessed are you as you listen to wisdom. Watching how frequently? Yeah, not weekly, not monthly, daily, every single day, watching daily at my doors. Wisdom has a home, and the invitation of wisdom is that we would sit at the door of wisdom's house. Picture that for a moment. I don't know. Imagine whatever kind of a house you think wisdom has. Maybe it's a log cabin. Maybe it's some modern house design. Whatever it is, wisdom has a home, and there you are watching that. Is wisdom going to come out today? Can wisdom come out to play? Watching daily at my doors, waiting at my doorway for whoever finds me, whoever finds wisdom, finds life. Who wants life? I mean, the opposite of life is, I don't think any of us would sign up for that this morning. Wisdom, the promise of wisdom. If you watch, if you wait, if your ears are open, your eyes are open, you will find life. Wisdom, what we're told, one of the common themes, the main themes of the book of Proverbs, and I would argue throughout the entire Bible, is wisdom leads to life. Rejecting wisdom leads down a road of death and destruction. So why would you want wisdom? Well, because you want life. And you want more of it. The promise of Jesus is abundant life. My guess is that's what every single one of you here this morning, that's what you want. And by rejecting wisdom, what we're told throughout Proverbs is, well, essentially you're rejecting life. And you're walking down a path that is leading you toward death and destruction. Now, second question for us this morning, how does wisdom work? And when I first discovered this 10, 15 years ago, I was blown away because wisdom worked in a way quite different than how I thought it worked. And the Bible, in addition, started looking a little bit different for me about how to read the Bible and the type of life that the Bible is inviting us into. So a couple of ways for us to understand how wisdom works. Yeah, we just read this one. Basically, we just talked about it. The path to wisdom, it's active and intentional, so it's not passive. So you're waiting at the doorway, you're watching daily, so it's active. Gaining wisdom is something that you cannot just passively sit and do. It is an active activity. Now, here's how it works. Proverbs 26. Do not answer a fool according to his folly, or you yourself will be just like him. So what's the Proverbs wisdom? When you come across a fool, what are you supposed to do? You don't answer the fool. Proverbs 26:4. Yet here we are, Proverbs 26:5, the very next verse, answer a fool according to his folly. Or he will be wise in his own eyes. So what is it? We're just told don't answer a fool. The very next verse, we're told answer a fool. So what do? Do you answer the fool or do you not answer the fool? What about this one? Proverbs 10. The wealth of the rich is their fortified city, but poverty is the ruin of the poor. In this verse, wealth acts as a protector. Wealth seems to be a good thing. Proverbs 11:4. Wealth is worthless in the day of wrath, but righteousness delivers from death. So wealth protects me or it doesn't. Which one is it? Should I seek wealth or should I not seek wealth? Because there's one verse in Proverbs that says this. It's like a fortified city. It's a protector. But then there's another verse that clearly says wealth is worthless. Which one is it? We're here looking for wisdom, yet it seems like there is some tension here when it comes to wisdom. There's some conflicting viewpoints. What about this one? Proverbs 14:23. In all striving there is profit. Okay, so should we strive? What does this verse tell us to do? Yes. I see some of you like, I don't know what to say right now. Proverbs 10:22. The Lord's blessing is what makes one rich, and striving adds nothing more. Are you confused yet? Am I to strive or am I not to strive? Is striving, is there profit in it, or is it simply a waste of my time? Now, maybe you're reading this and you're thinking, oh my goodness, if Proverbs and the Bible isn't clear, well, how is there any hope for me? I read the Bible because I want some wisdom, but I'm told to strive, and then I'm told not to strive. I'm told to seek wealth, don't seek wealth, answer a fool, don't answer a fool. What possibly can I do? I'm feeling the tension within. Now, let me introduce you to a 1st and 2nd century philosopher, Epictetus, Greek philosopher, and he had a student who came up to him, approached him, and said, "Tell me what to do, great philosopher. I am looking to you for wisdom. I need advice. Tell me what to do." How did Epictetus answer him? Well, it would be better to say, make my mind adaptable to any circumstances. Don't just tell me what to do. I'm not going to just give you the answer. The better question, the better, can we say, desire or prayer, is that your mind would be made adaptable in every unique situation that you face. Think about Jesus when he offered parables. Did everyone fully understand what he was saying in those parables? No. Most people walked away confused, unsure. They didn't know what to do with the parable that Jesus was teaching. Jesus was inviting his followers, his listeners, into a particular way of living, one that forced them to wrestle with his words, wrestle with the implications of his teachings. He wasn't just about giving simple, easy answers, but rather he wanted to give people, shall we call it, wisdom, the tools to make wise decisions and choices in every single situation. Wisdom is situational. There's sometimes that you are to answer a fool. And then there's other times you are to walk away. So what's the correct answer? I don't know. It depends on the situation. And wisdom allows you to know what is the right choice in that particular moment. When we talk about wealth in Proverbs or striving, there are some seasons when striving is a good thing. And you need to work and strive and push yourself. And then there are other seasons when you need rest. So right now, are you to strive or are you to pause and rest? I don't know, because I don't know all the details of your life. But the life that God is inviting each one of us into is having the awareness to know what season we find ourselves in and what the Spirit is speaking individually to you in each particular moment that you face. I believe that God desires your growth. Just giving you answers, just telling you what to do, does not facilitate growth. God desires for you to grow as a follower of Jesus, as a human being. And life is the laboratory for your growth. Life presents challenges. Life is not easy. You don't want life to be easy because then you will never grow. We want some seasons where it's clear skating. Of course, we all need those moments, but life is more like the ocean. There are waves. They come, they go, they recede. Then there's tranquility. There's some stillness. There's some peace. Then you get a hurricane and there's more waves again. There's different challenges that you face, but eventually the waves dissipate and there's calmness. That is how life is. Life is a laboratory for your growth, and God desires for you to grow as an individual. So let's talk about the path or the Proverbs path to wisdom in 7 verses. How do we acquire wisdom? 7 ways to acquire wisdom according to Proverbs. First, Proverbs 4:7. The beginning of wisdom is this: get wisdom. It's helpful, right? You want wisdom? Get it. Okay, how? Beginning of wisdom. Get wisdom. How? The idea here is to accumulate as much wisdom as you can possibly get. Remember this verse, Proverbs 8:34. Blessed is the one who listens to me, watching daily, waiting at my doorway. Whoever finds me finds life. You watch. You read. You listen. You pay attention. You surround yourself with people, with sources, inputs that embody wisdom and the life that you truly desire. The first step to acquiring wisdom is to live with your eyes open. To live with the assumption that wisdom is all around, that wisdom is being offered in every moment, that wisdom comes daily, and that every single moment you face is an opportunity to find wisdom. So you surround yourself with wise people and wise sources so that you can accumulate as much wisdom as you possibly can. So the first step is to get wisdom. Step number 2, Proverbs 2, if you call out for insight, cry aloud for understanding, if you look for it, speaking of wisdom, as for silver, and search for it as for hidden treasure, then you will understand the fear of the Lord and find the knowledge of God, for the Lord gives wisdom. What's happening here is wisdom is, in a sense, it's hidden. It's not there right on the surface. You have to do a little digging for wisdom. You have to reflect. You have to sit with things for a while. So step 2, the second way to acquiring wisdom, you seek it. And to me, what this verse says is that God desires to give it, but you need to be a seeker, one who is actively looking for wisdom. Here's Jesus in Matthew 7, ask, it will be given, seek, and you will find, knock, and the door will be open to you. For everyone who asks, receive, the one who seeks finds, the one who knocks, the door will be opened. Have you ever asked for wisdom? And sometimes you don't get it right away. Maybe you're still waiting on it. Does it ever feel like that? You want some wisdom, you want some discernment, and you're like, my goodness, I prayed about it. I asked 17 other people to pray for it. Why is God not answering this prayer? Well, let me answer this for you by talking about the Titanic, because you all knew that's where this was going, right? How long did it take to find the Titanic wreckage? How about 73 years? 73 years of seeking and searching and knocking and looking. Now, efforts to locate and salvage the Titanic began almost immediately after it sank, but technical limitations, as well as the sheer vastness of the North Atlantic search area, made it extremely difficult. The Titanic wasn't found for lack of effort. It just wasn't possible at the time. So sometimes you need wisdom and you don't get the answer you're looking for right away. The promise is that you will find, but the promise is it's not that you'll find it within the hour or the day, the week, the month. I mean, how many of you have unanswered prayers? They've been going on for years, decades. Ask and you will seek. Well, Jesus doesn't give an answer as to, well, if you ask, you'll find it now and here. It's this perpetual invitation to keep seeking and asking, and eventually you will find that which you are looking for. But just like the Titanic, it might not come overnight. But those looking for the Titanic wreckage, they didn't give up. They kept on going. Probably some of the people who were looking for it right when it first sank, they were no longer alive when the wreckage was actually found 73 years later. but they passed on this legacy of seeking. So how do you acquire wisdom? You keep looking for it. You keep digging. You keep searching. You never stop. You live with this hopeful, optimistic belief that eventually you will discover the wisdom that you're looking for, that it's there somewhere like buried treasure under the surface waiting for you to discover it. Now, there's a picture of the wreckage. Now, third step, Proverbs 4, cherish her. She will exalt you. Embrace her. She will honor you. Step 3, honor and protect the wisdom that you've gained. Who knows this verse? Do not throw your pearls to pigs. We looked at this earlier. Don't answer a fool according to his folly, or you yourself will be just like him. You all have wisdom. You all have acquired wisdom throughout your life. These verses serve as a warning. You don't just throw your wisdom recklessly to anyone who's out there. There's sometimes when you are to hold on to the wisdom that you've gained. Other people might not be ready for it. Other people might not want to listen to it. You cherish the wisdom. You love it. You protect it. You nurture it. And you realize it's not necessarily for everyone. And there's some people who will disregard your wisdom. They'll step all over it. And the way to protect your heart is to keep your mouth shut sometimes. Even if you have wisdom for a particular situation, there's some moments where it's better for you to stay silent so that your wisdom isn't tarnished. So you cherish your wisdom. You love it. You protect it. You treat it with all that it's worth. Proverbs 6:21. Bind wisdom always on your heart. Fasten wisdom around your neck. You record your wisdom and you carry it with you at all times. Who remembers these commercials going back a little bit? The American Express card. What was their slogan? Don't leave home without it. Don't leave home without your wisdom. Exercise wisdom wherever you go. Wisdom isn't just for you when you're sitting in your armchair. Wisdom is for when you're at work, when you're out with friends, when you're talking to neighbors, talking to your family. Every single moment is an opportunity for you to exercise wisdom. The desire of God is that you would exercise wisdom in every single moment. So you bind it around your heart. You wear it as a bracelet. You have it tattooed to your calf muscle, your forearm, whatever you need to do. You bring it with you. You do not leave home without wisdom, because you're going to come across situations where you will need that wisdom. So you find ways to carry it with you wherever you go. Next step, let the wise listen and add to their learning. Let the discerning get guidance. Proverbs 1:5. Step 5, always a student. I love this quote by this historian, Daniel Boorstin. The greatest enemy of knowledge is not ignorance, it is the illusion of knowledge. Let's trade out knowledge for wisdom. The greatest enemy of wisdom is not ignorance, it is the illusion of wisdom. Maybe we could say being wise in your own eyes and feeling as if you have no more need for divine wisdom, that you have all the answers. There's no more seeking to be done. This is a picture of the ocean. Any idea how much of the known oceans that we have explored? About 20%. I read some stats, about 26.1%. Scientists estimate there's still hundreds of thousands of marine life yet to be discovered. We have only discovered probably about 1/3 of life that is in the oceans. Wisdom is endless, limitless, boundless. Whenever we feel as if we have already acquired all the wisdom we need, we can become a bit arrogant. But as Proverbs constantly tells us, fear of the Lord, or let's call it humility, leads to more wisdom, which then leads to greater life. So we approach life always as a student. You don't watch daily for a month at wisdom's door and then leave. You continue waiting at the doorstep of wisdom. So how do you acquire wisdom? Step 5, you're always a student. You're always looking for more wisdom, always realizing that there is wisdom for you in this moment, and then the next moment, and then the next one, just waiting to be discovered. Only 20% of the known oceans have been explored. Yeah, what if we've only acquired 20% of, well, I guess wisdom is endless, but imagine 20%. You still have quite a bit left to go. So just like the ocean is vast and boundless, wisdom is vast and boundless. Proverbs 7:2, guard my teachings, guard wisdom as the apple or the center of your eye. Step 6, be mindful of what holds central importance in your life. We all have 3 scarce resources: time, money, attention. Be careful how you spend all 3 of those. What do you give your attention to? What are you giving time, your money to? Be mindful of what holds central importance in your life. The path to wisdom is having the right thing at the center of your eye. So you ask yourself, is the road that I'm currently walking, is it leading me into more life? Is it leading me into more hope and peace, love and joy? Or is the road that I'm walking, is it leading me down that path of death and destruction? Because if it's leading you down a path that just doesn't feel joyful, doesn't feel full of hope, well, maybe there's some wisdom calling out to you, inviting you to change your path, to choose a different road to walk. So you spend some time asking, okay, what is it that is at the center of my life? And is this what needs to be at the center? Or does something else need to be at the center of my life? And then finally, Proverbs 4. Listen, my sons, to a father's instruction. Pay attention, gain understanding. I give you sound learning, so do not forsake my teaching. For I too was a son to my father, still tender and cherished by my mother. Then he taught me, and he said to me, take hold of my words with all your heart, keep my commands, and you will live. Step 7, pass on your legacy of wisdom, but not to swine. You pass on your legacy of wisdom to those who are open, to those who are receptive. You cherish, you love, you hold on to that wisdom, believing it's a gift given from God. And then to those who are open, you pass it on. Just like what we see here in Proverbs, this father passing wisdom on to his children so that they can live a life that is wise, a life that is discerning, that leads them down a road of life and of goodness. This is the promise of wisdom. So those are 7 ways to acquire wisdom. There's obviously way more than 7 ways. It's just a little primer on wisdom. And Proverbs offers us this way. And we see it all throughout the Bible, this constant invitation to listen and pay attention and live the life of divine wisdom, this wisdom that God freely desires to give to you in each moment.